All right, welcome back to another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. As always, I'm Alex. I've got Adam right here. Got
What's going on?
Got Keith down there in the end. Thank you for watching another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros, and I hope you enjoy it.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. We have Week 8 college football, our college game day slate. We're not even going to talk about last week because none of us finished with winning records. So.
Well, no, Alex.
I did.
Oh, no, you did. You went 6-5, didn't you? You
I
went
was 7-5.
Yeah,
We only did 11 games. So you went
I had 7 wins, I think.
You
went
went
7-4?
No, he went 6-5.
He went
Because then you
6-5.
went 4-7, 4-7, 3-8.
Yeah. So, yeah, you look it up real quick, but I'll go ahead and jump into it. So, we got to start pretty early. We have Wednesday football, and it's a really good matchup in the Sun Belt. Two of the kind of three big Sun Belt teams are facing off. Coastal Carolina going to App State. Number 14 Coastal is a 5-point favorite at App State on Wednesday night. We'll start on your end with you.
Give me the undefeated Chanticleers.
Okay.
After
Coastal.
I say after App State
Coastal?
lost.
Okay.
Was it last week? Right?
Yeah, they took a bad loss last week.
Yeah, App State looked really bad at Louisiana Lafayette. Again, Lafayette, the third of what I call the big three Sun Belt teams. I'm going to take App State. They've had Coastal's number over the past couple of years.
But I think Coastal under Jamie Chadwell has been on the up and coming.
Oh, they're incredible.
And so
Yeah, they're incredible.
I think this is the year they take it to App State.
I think he is going to end up jumping ship from Coastal this year, and he's going to end up at a Power 5 program, but
Like an LSU?
maybe not that far. Maybe not that far, but
Not quite yet.
But I do.
A&M.
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe Florida State. Maybe if they fire Mike Norvell, Jamie will jump there. But App's had Coastal's number for the last couple of years. They've been either in close games or beating them. So I'm going to take App State this time.
Chanticleers.
Okay. So on to game number 2. This is actually a Friday night game. Not a big game, but kind of a big game for UCF if you're a UCF fan. Because you need to make it to a bowl game, especially under Gus Malzahn and what UCF has done over the past couple of years. And they got the Memphis Tigers coming to them 7 o'clock on Friday night. Right now, UCF is only a 1.5-point favorite over Memphis.
And this is usually a huge game too. Like there's so many points usually scored in this game.
Yeah, over under 63.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a little low. For
I think
It's low for what they've done.
Hammer the oak.
Yeah, I think it's low too.
Give me Memphis.
You gonna take Memphis?
I'd say is Memphis still putting up like 500 yards of offense?
They are averaging 487, yes, while giving up 426 on defense. So 36 points a game for them. For me, I've gone back and forth with this. I'm going to take UCF because they're at home, but I mean, Gus Malzahn has never been somebody that's won the big game, so this is kind of a big game for them if they want to make a bowl game.
I said, what's their biggest game one was what, the kick 6 against Bama? Was that his?
Gus Malzahn at Arizona, yeah. Or not Arizona, sorry, Auburn.
Yeah.
Was Malzahn the one the championship, or did Chiswick win the championship?
I think that was
Chiswick won the championship, but the kick 6 wasn't the championship year.
No, I know that, but I couldn't remember if Malzahn was that Chiswick or Malzahn.
No, it was Chiswick that won the championship year.
Okay.
So, Memphis or UCF for you?
I really don't know. This is a straight up pick 'em here.
Basically,
It's hard.
With that 1.5 line.
I'm gonna go UCF. I'm gonna stick with UCF.
Okay.
I'm taking UCF just because they have home field.
Sorry, my bad.
That's the only reason. Home field advantage.
UCF. All right.
I think it's gonna be a high scoring, less than a 1-score game, like within
Field goal, touchdown,
no, like a field goal, not even a touchdown.
Nice.
I think it's gonna be tight. I think throughout the whole game.
Nice. Game 3 for us. The undefeated Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Anybody have money on Wake Forest going 6-0 this year?
I did at plus 17,000.
Yeah, I bet. So, but anyways, Wake Forest leading the ACC. They're the highest ranked ACC team, and they're 6-0. But they are going to the Army Black Knights. This is a noon game on Saturday, and Wake Forest is only a 3-point favorite. And we've talked about how sometimes the public perception of an upset. I last week, of course, said, "Oh no, that's not going to happen. LSU's not going to beat Florida." All of us took Florida, of course. This is another one of those games where the public perspective is that Army will upset Wake Forest and give them their first loss.
I'm taking Army.
You're taking Army?
Army, I think, has looked good all year. They're, one loss
2 losses. They
Two
lost
losses.
to Ball State and Wisconsin.
Okay, oh, that's right. They
Both
lost to
road
Wisconsin
games.
last week. Yeah, but the Wisconsin loss was just last week.
It was just last week, yep.
So I mean, that was their first, I think, Power 5 team of the year, right?
Yeah, that was the first
Yeah.
Power 5 team.
So I mean, I think and Wisconsin's a tough thing. It's just a big team, and especially with Army, who's typically a run-heavy offense. It's a lot of big boys against Wisconsin. Wake Forest has been sneakily good on the defensive side of the ball, but I think Army pulled it out.
Okay.
Yeah, so one of the big things you always have to remember when you're playing one of these academy teams that are running the triple option is that time of possession is usually very, very skewed compared to a normal game they're used to playing. And I think that's going to become a big factor that Wake Forest is just not going to have the same amount of time that they're used to throughout the season. I think Army does win this one. I think the Wake Forest, their little ride's about to just take a little speed bump here, and I think Army will upset them.
Okay. I've been intrigued by this as well because for Wake Forest, I mean, you played a really close game at Syracuse. They had last week off. Before that, they played a really close game at Syracuse. Had to win in overtime. They really had to come back and beat Louisville too. So I've always felt like, if Army can get out there and get up 2 touchdowns, it's going to be really hard for Wake Forest to come back. I think your point is 100%. I mean, just a little nugget that's so accurate. If Army gets up 2 touchdowns, the amount of time that they're going to run off this clock being a triple option team is going to be vital for Wake Forest.
Yeah, the moment Army goes up, ball's their head coach, I would be taking 40 seconds to snap the ball. Every time.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, that's how the academy teams do it. So, for me, I think I'm going to stick with Wake, and I'm going to take Wake this week. I could be 100% wrong, and y'all can win this, but I think for right now I'm going to stick with Wake until Wake proves to me that they can't go out and figure out a way to beat all these teams.
Yeah, I'm going with Wake as well.
Okay.
I say I'm taking Army here, but I'm probably not going to play them in fantasy.
No, you have to. That's part of the rules now.
No, I don't think so. if you pick them in the college pick 'em, you got to.
Yeah. So.
You can always trade them.
Game 4.
Austin already asked for one again.
Game 4, Oklahoma State. This is a 3:30 game at Iowa State. Coming into the year, I think everybody kind of felt like Iowa State was the one that was going to be the sneaky Big 12 team that could beat Oklahoma and go in and win the Big 12. Right now, Oklahoma State undefeated, 3-0 in the conference, had a 17-point fourth quarter to beat Texas last week. Texas. But Oklahoma State, number 8 in the country, but they are underdogs at Iowa State. Iowa State is a 7-point favorite in this game.
It's a hard place to play.
I can see that, but
it's the same. It's hard to say that, but we also watched Iowa just roll in there and just take care of business.
At Iowa State, yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna turn here, but I think Oklahoma's just gonna roll.
Yeah,
Oklahoma State's just gonna roll through.
I'm going OK State as well.
I'm going to go Iowa State, and I like Iowa State. A lot of veteran players, like he said, at home. Oklahoma State has not impressed me. Like, they should have lost last week against Texas. It took a big 3 possessions of 2 touchdowns and a field goal just to come back and beat Texas. Baylor, the week before Oklahoma State was at home, it was a big game. It was a night game, and Baylor actually was kind of in control of that game for the most part. Oklahoma State comes back late and beats them as well. So,
Iowa State gave Baylor put up 31 points on.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, that was Iowa State has not played well on the road. I mean, if you look at their last couple of games on the road, they haven't played well. And then, like you said, Iowa came in and beat them. But there's a lot of veteran players on this Iowa State team, and I think they know that they haven't met the expectation of what they thought was possible this year. And this is a big chance for them to beat number 8 Oklahoma State and kind of get themselves back into maybe a New Year's Six bowl if they get lucky.
I'm going Oklahoma State.
Okay.
I think Iowa State just hadn't, for all the hype that they had coming into the season, just hasn't lived up to it.
Yeah, 100%.
And Oklahoma State didn't have that, and now all of a sudden is overproducing.
Yeah.
Kind of like Arkansas, kind of like Kentucky. So, granted, they could go out and lose one. Like, this is a close game for them, I think. I just don't see Iowa State, though, holding on to it. At least shouldn't be a 7-point line.
I mean, can Iowa State beat that team, right? Oklahoma State's come back in the fourth quarter, 2 straight weeks now. Can Iowa State beat that team that gets up and holds the lead against Oklahoma State? So, well, we all didn't believe in him last week. Coach O's made the big news that he's leaving LSU at the end of the year. They're mutually parting ways. LSU pulled off the upset last week. Not really anybody saying anything about this week, but 9.5 point favorite Ole Miss hosting LSU. Anybody want to take them this week?
I'm taking Ole Miss.
Yeah, give me
I
Ole
think
Miss.
I think Matt Carroll has looked phenomenal this year. He should be
Heisman Trophy candidate?
top 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going Ole Miss. That offense is just extremely potent right now. And I don't think LSU's defense is going to be matched up very well with Ole Miss. Ole Miss is just going to roll through with vigor.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we thought the same thing last week against Florida.
Well, LSU didn't turn the ball over, and Florida threw 4 picks.
Yeah.
So
Florida beat Florida.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Yeah.
So
lost by touchdown would beat Florida.
if Ole Miss doesn't trip themselves up, I think they walk away with this by 10 points.
Yeah, I'm a betting. All right, so you took Ole Miss.
I'm taking Ole Miss.
You took Ole Miss.
Yeah.
You take
Ole
Ole
Miss.
Miss. Okay. I will take Ole Miss too.
What's the line on this game?
It's a 9-point game.
Yeah,
Right
I think that's accurate. I think if Ole Miss doesn't beat themselves, they walk out of there with a 10.
Yeah,
10 plus.
I trust Matt Corral to not turn the ball over 4 times. And at LSU, I mean, they've just had injury between Stingley and a bunch of other people where their secondary is kind of young and inexperienced right now. And the way this passing offense is for Ole Miss, you can't have that. So I'll take the Ole Miss Rebels as well. All right. Brings me so much joy to finally get to this game because we've been calling it for weeks off air. But, we always cover the local teams, so we got to cover Clemson. Clemson going to Pitt at 3:30. I know. Have y'all looked at the lines at all?
I have not yet.
Have you?
I haven't.
All right. So I know you probably saw it on the sheet, so I'm gonna let them guess. You want to take
I'm
any guesses?
going to go ahead and straight guess. Pitt is clearly the better team. They're ranked, have beaten better teams, have only got 1 loss, and Clemson is favored by 8.5.
Okay. What do you want to say?
Pitt, yeah, like you said, Pitt's the better team, but Clemson's a 3-point favorite.
Because Vegas is scared.
Pitt is actually the 3-point favorite, so this is going to be.
And that's 3 points for being the home team.
Yep.
Wow. Fuck Vegas.
So
Vegas is scared. Clemson's going to get their shit together and start winning football.
They're
games.
going to hold. They're
half
going
their
to
team
hold.
on the bench.
I'm taking Pitt.
Pitt, this is going to be easy. In Heinz Field, Pitt's wrong. Pitt is beating Clemson, and it's going to feel great for the city of Pittsburgh.
I've said it since Clemson lost to NC State. Pitt was going to be the other team to beat them, and I'm taking Pitt as well.
Oh yeah, Pitt all the way.
All right, so clean slate of Pitt. Good Lord, that scares me. We've not been that accurate. So please just forgive us, football gods. Another game we got, top 25 matchup. We just talked about Wisconsin and how they beat Army. Wisconsin is a 3-point favorite on the road at number 25 Purdue, who did just pull the big upset on Iowa.
So, Wisconsin has big boy football, but so is Purdue. But that is big boy football with Wisconsin. And I think, was it Graham, I think is the quarterback's last name? Or something like that.
Mertz.
Graham
might be the other one who's playing now, yeah.
But either way, I think Wisconsin gets it done. Purdue, like you said, though, did pull off an upset, but I think Wisconsin gets it done against Purdue.
Okay.
Yeah. I just don't think Purdue is as good as people think they are.
Yeah.
I do think the Iowa win was truly just a fluke kind of thing.
But it was Iowa at home, though, right?
Yeah, it was at Iowa.
It was at Iowa, yeah. Purdue's got losses to Minnesota and an overrated Notre Dame team. I just think Wisconsin is just gonna show that they're the better team, more physical.
Bully ball, I think, was going to play into this.
Yeah, and I think Purdue's gonna kind of reveal themselves as just they're gonna be decent. They're just not as good as people think they are.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with Wisconsin wins this one.
I'm gonna go with you. I'm actually gonna take Wisconsin too. I think Wisconsin's gonna be able to run the football on Purdue. Purdue is a pass-heavy team. It's like the old Drew Brees days over there. They like to throw up for 400 yards a game right now. And Wisconsin can just kind of control the clock, control the game, and they have a pretty good defense. So, Purdue's up in the top 25 just solely because they beat number 2 Iowa. That's the only reason they're there.
Yeah, they have to be ranked at that point.
But for me, I think this is where they fall right back out of the rankings. So I'm gonna take Wisconsin.
Yeah, good Badgers.
Okay. Got some more ranked teams. Going to be a big one for Alex actually in the College Fantasy League. Number 22, San Diego State, who is undefeated in 2-0, going to 6-1 and 3-1 in the Mountain West Conference. Air Force Falcons, so another triple option team. The Falcons of Air Force are 3.5-point favorites. at home.
Air Force has come out and looked a lot better than they have in the past few years. Because of the 3 academy teams, I think they've been the lowest. Because I think
They're usually,
yeah.
usually are.
Yeah.
Like the Presidential's Trophy, that they call it, you got the 3 academies competing for a leg of the trophy. Usually Air Force they fall short of the Navy and
so it's
Army.
usually it's of the past few years. I think it's been Army, Navy, Air Force.
Yeah.
So Air Force, I think, has exceeded expectations this year, but San Diego State's a great team. There's a reason why.
Yeah, I think San Diego State's going to get it together because they almost lost to San Jose State.
Yeah.
Going to overtime.
I would say they're undefeated though, right? San Diego State.
Yeah, San Diego State's undefeated. Air Force 6-1. Only loss to the Air Force was at home against Utah State, which ended up being a 49-45 game, so it's pretty close.
Yeah.
But there's a reason I think San Diego State's still undefeated. Is they can figure out how to win games and make it happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I think
San Diego State.
I think San Diego State will win this one.
Whew. This is tough for me because I tell you, Air Force has played really well over the last couple games. They've beaten Boise State, they've beaten Wyoming, who I think are 2 better teams in the Mountain West. The loss to Utah State is there, but it was a 49-45 game.
You would expect though when you hang 45 points to win a game.
Yeah,
You know.
especially as an academy team.
Right.
San Diego State got scary a little bit. That double overtime win over San Jose State, who was with the backup true freshman quarterback. But San Diego State beat Utah on the road when they were ranked at the time. It was a triple overtime game. So, they played some good football and played some good teams. I'm going to stick with the academy transfer. I'm going to take Air Force on this one and just run the line of Army and Air Force this week.
There you go.
Or actually, I took Wake. Never mind. I'm lying to myself.
You can go back and Jane take on me.
No. I'm going to stick with Wake. But I'll take Air Force. I'll go for the upset.
I'm going Air Force as well.
All right. Another team that you never thought you'd probably say was in the top 25, the UTSA Roadrunners.
Still undefeated.
Undefeated, 7-0, 3-0 in their conference, and they are 24th in the country. But they are on the road at Louisiana Tech and a 7-point favorite. Louisiana Tech played a lot of good teams. Bless you.
Thank you.
Played a lot of good teams over this year. SMU, NC State, UTEP's not a bad program, so their losses are kind of.
Well, I say UTEP, I think is, unless they're a one-loss team now, was undefeated like last week and was at the top of the division above UTSA.
UTEP? They are, they're 6-1. So
Yeah.
and
And they're first in the conference.
They're first in the West in Conference USA as well. So
That's what I say they were, because in that division, I remember looking. I think SMU might have been third, at,
Okay.
something like that.
yeah.
One of the teams I had.
So there you go, Louisiana Tech or UTSA.
I don't know much about either team, but I guess there's a reason why the Roadrunners are still undefeated. So I'm going to take them on the road.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with UTSA. Yeah, I think UTSA continues on their little hot streak, and I just don't think La Tech's good enough to pull this one out.
Okay.
They've got UTSA, well not UTSA, La Tech's got a weak defense, and UTSA is liking to move the ball a lot, so those aren't usually a good combo to have facing against each other.
Yeah. You're 100% right. Louisiana Tech's got a pretty rough defense. I think they've played some good offenses, of course, with SMU and NC State, so that might skew their numbers a little bit. But the only reason I give Louisiana Tech a chance in this game is they like to throw the football a lot, and that's where UTSA's defense has been beat this year, is through the pass. They don't give up but 82 yards on the ground rushing, but they give up 242 yards passing. So I'm going to stick with UTSA, though. I'm going to stick with the trend. If they're undefeated and they keep finding a way to win football games, stick with them. So I'm going to take UTSA.
Yep.
Who's got Garrett? You telling me Garrett playing this week?
I think Austin has them, right?
Austin probably doesn't.
Does
I
he
think
now?
does,
Yeah, I think Austin has UTSA. So big rivalry
Probably their
matchup.
first time being ranked in ever.
Probably their first time being ranked ever, yeah. Big rivalry matchup. Southern California, who has certainly fallen off, certainly been at the bottom of what they expected. They're 3-3, but they're going to Notre Dame, number 13 Notre Dame. Currently a 6.5 point game right now. Notre Dame obviously, took the one loss to Cincinnati, but has found a way to win football games every other week, including last week at Virginia Tech.
I'll take Notre Dame. USC has just been struggling this year. So, I'm going Notre Dame. I just don't feel comfortable in Southern Cal putting it all together. It just feels like one week maybe the offense is on and the defense isn't, or vice versa, and they just haven't been able to click as a cohesive unit, and I don't see it happening this week against a one-loss Notre Dame team.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Notre Dame. They're going to just blow right past USC.
It's hard for me because I don't trust either one of these teams, right? I mean, you really can't trust Notre Dame. They played in so many close games this year. Toledo, they barely escaped Purdue. They lost to Cincinnati. They barely escaped Virginia Tech. They barely escaped Florida State in the first week. So, you feel like you really can't trust Notre Dame. But then, like you said, Southern California, you get blown out by Utah. Yeah, you lose to Oregon State. Stanford. They've just been so inconsistent this year. So I'll stick with the one that I think has been able to barely escape the games, and I'll take Notre Dame.
Yep, I got the Irish as well.
Okay. I think I know all the answers on this one. We'll at least include the line as well, but we always cover the hometown Gamecocks before we do the college game day game. So South Carolina 4-3, 1-3 in the conference, and they are on the road at number 17 Texas A&M. 21-point line at the moment. So
Texas A&M, 4+ touchdowns.
About more than 28?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Count it. Hammer it.
Yeah, I think it's A&M all the way. Yeah.
A&M.
You think A&M will cover the 21?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yes.
A&M by more than 25.
More than 25.
A&M and the points.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and take A&M too. And I'll probably also take
And I told you last week Carolina was going to cover the points. And look what happened.
Yeah, it's bad. It's a bad time to be a Gamecock fan right now, especially offensively. So
hey, at least they doubled their wins from last year.
They did double their wins from last year. So and got one SEC win this year. So I'll take the Gamecocks as well.
Yeah,
I think A&M. They had 2 SEC wins.
Yeah, one of them was Mandy.
Yep. So. College game day in somewhere we didn't really expect it this week, but it's at UCLA, a 3:30 game. Number 10 Oregon's on the road at UCLA. UCLA not currently ranked; they've been in and out of the rankings, but 5-2 and 3-1 in the Pac-12. UCLA opens as a 2-point favorite over the Oregon Ducks.
This is a really tricky game.
Yeah, I agree with what you said.
This is a really tricky game considering
Depending
how well
on
UCLA
can play.
Yes. Well, just how they played in the past. I mean, this is just.
I say if the UCLA team that showed up to play LSU shows up to play Oregon, I think they beat Oregon. But if you see the UCLA team that played, who was their first loss to?
Fresno State.
Yeah. Oregon wins
That was
by
a shootout too, wasn't it?
40-37, yeah.
But Oregon's gonna put up more than 40 points.
Yeah.
If that team shows up.
Yeah. Who you taking?
Give me Oregon on the road. I'll take the Ducks on the road at UCLA.
Okay.
I'm gonna take UCLA.
I'm gonna stick with Alex. I'm gonna take UCLA too. I think the big thing that's really hindered UCLA all season is their gambling style of defense. They like to jump gaps. They like to rush the pressure. They like to blitz a lot. They don't mind doing man-on-man coverage. Yeah, if they miss, they give up points. And I mean, Oregon just the last 2 weeks, the overtime loss to Stanford, and then barely pulling out against Cal. They're not doing anything offensively that's wowing anybody. They're trying to run the football, and they haven't been able to run the football.
Verdell.
And Verdell's actually
he's out. That's right. Yeah,
he's up for the year.
Yeah.
So I mean, for Oregon to win games, it has to be like the Ohio State game. They have to average 7 yards a carry. They got to be explosive. They got to be out on the edge. They got to be missing tackles. Or they have to have the running backs making people miss tackles, and it hasn't looked that way for the last 2 weeks. So I think UCLA brings the pressure, sticks with their gambling defense, and pulls off the upset.
You make good points there.
That's right. What's the public vote? Is it 50-50 pretty much right now?
The public vote is 53 Oregon, 46 UCLA, or 47 UCLA basically.
Yeah, it's basically.
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, I'm taking Oregon, but yeah. I think, like you're saying, if Oregon can make UCLA's defense pay for being overly aggressive, you're going to see Oregon walk away.
You're probably going to see Oregon win by 20.
Yeah.
I mean, if UCLA's defense is over aggressive, it gets beat in man coverage downfield. I mean, Oregon's going to put up a lot of touchdowns on them. Oregon's defense is not bad. They haven't played well probably in the last couple of weeks, but you know, the big thing about UCLA is containing Dorian Thompson-Robinson and you know, not letting him get out of the pocket, get into free space, you know, get those first downs.
That's like using his leg to extend plays.
Yeah.
Give me the Ducks.
All right, so Oregon, UCLA, and Oregon in the college game day, and that is a 13-team college game day. A lot of good games, a lot of good football this weekend. So we'll see how we do, and we'll come back next week and hopefully be a lot better than we did last week.
Yeah.